Hello, St. Joe's parishioners. Father Eric here. I know it's a shame that we have to cover this beautiful face, but anyway, they're making me do that. But oh my gosh, okay. For the rest of this, so that you can actually hear me, I'm going to speak without this mask. We are getting ready to come back to church, and obviously we are super excited to have you back, but there are some directions that we got to give you because we want this to be as smooth as possible. And remember with all of this, the goal is for us to be able to receive the Eucharist. And we certainly don't want to be receiving the Eucharist as we have nasty thoughts on our mind, okay? And so, if you're coming in the front area of the church, okay, you see over here our parking lot and all those good things, and it's going to be ready and waiting for you if you decide to come in the front. Now, we're also having work done on the church, as we know, and so likely for that first weekend, that front entrance, we don't have to worry about it anyway. So, in order to socially distance and in order to make this as smooth and painless as possible, we are asking that you go in the school entrance here. Now, we have the lovely Chris and the lovely Jen wave to everyone. And we will be at the doors that first weekend, May 30th and 31st, and even after that, welcoming you. And so if you're coming in this side, you are going in door number 1. Unless you can't do steps. If you can't do steps, we completely understand, and we'll let you in door number 10, which is the family center door. But we ask everybody else to use this door or the door that we will show you from the back, okay? And as you see, we are letting everybody come back in the church, even Deacon Joe. Deacon Joe is... Church is back! Church is back! Church is back! Hey, there we go. And so Deacon Joe is back, and we're all welcoming you back. And so we're going to come on in here now. Join me. This is going to be lots of fun, okay? And we're going to come in, and Chris or another lovely staff member is going to be welcoming you. And don't get too close. Don't get too close. Okay, we're going to come on in, and you're going to see lovely blue painter's tape X's on the floor. And what do those mean, Deacon Joe?
Those are where you need to stand. So you'll follow the X's as long as they're vacant, all the way up and around the corner.
Hello, everybody. Now you also may choose to park in our back parking lot here. Again, a beautiful, beautiful area and a nice area to come in. Now, we're going to ask that unless you need kind of a handicapped entrance there, an accessible entrance, that you use door number 7. I know that says main entrance and points that way. Disregard that for the summer months right now, okay, until we get back to whatever we get back to. And now, we're going to have you go in door number 7. And again, we're going to say hi to our parish administrative assistant, Chris Baltez.
Hi, Chris. Hi.
And we are being led by Deacon Joe Malenfant. God help us all. And we're praying for the church. And so we're coming through our school, and you're seeing again these beautiful, beautiful blue X's. And we're asking you that if you're part of a different household, obviously, that you maintain that distance. And then, Jen, where are they going to go?
Proceed down here to the church.
Then, when you get to the last blue X without somebody standing on it, stop. Because that's 6 feet and socially distant all the way. You'll be met at the door here by somebody who will then assist you in getting into your seat in church.
And now we're going to come into the church. And throughout all of this, somebody is going to be assisting you, okay? And so, again, please don't come back to church going, I'm going to get my pew. because you might not get your pew. And that's okay, because then you'll see the church from a whole different perspective, and you might even meet somebody new as you socially distance and wave to them, okay? And so please don't be set on your pew. And please don't start a fight with our lovely staff people or our volunteers. They're doing their best. And please just go where they put you. It will be so much better. And then we get to receive Jesus peacefully. Okay, you're going to come in, you're going to see. Look at these. Aren't these lovely? Pauline Glaza, one of our parishioners, made these. Aren't those beautiful? I couldn't have done that. Okay. And so we're going to come up here, and you are going to be seated in a pew. Now, obviously, if you can't do steps, please let the usher know, and they won't take you up to the balcony, right? Okay? And so if you have any special needs, let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate. And so we're going to come up here, and people will be seated. And obviously, if you are, a whole family, and you're a family of 6, you guys can sit together, okay? Share your cooties together. That's okay. Okay? But if you're not of the same household, we're going to ask that you separate, okay? And so we'll have little marks on the pews there that show about a 6-foot distance. And so we would ask you to respect that. Because I know very well, some of you think that this is ridiculous. And I also know that some of you think we're not going to be doing enough. And so just know that as pastor, we're doing our best to accommodate everyone, and it's not going to make everybody happy. However, we are doing our best. And you all know that. And you know that we're doing all of this out of love. So you're going to come on up, and you're going to be seated all throughout. And there's going to be differences in the liturgy. We're going to be doing a little less singing, because it's been shown when you sing, all the droplets all go all over, okay? And so we don't want that, but we'll be doing some singing, okay? We encourage people to wear masks. Okay, that's what the bishop has encouraged us to do, just like our wonderful, wonderful volunteers here today. And then what's going to happen here is, as you see different things happen during the liturgy, I'll be explaining how we do those things, why we're doing those things, all that. You will notice we won't be processing in or processing out. There won't be an offertory procession, okay? And we're going to be doing some different things just to, again, give that appropriate distance. One of the key changes that's going to happen for our Sunday and Saturday liturgies is communion, okay? One of the things that has been very much encouraged for us is to simply keep it to a single file line. So we thought the best way to do that is to come up from the side aisle, okay? And for communion, the priest or the distributor will be wearing, the priest or one of the lay distributors will be wearing our mask. Because, obviously, we want to make sure that we are protecting you all. And since you're going to have to take off your mask for communion, we are going to be safe in doing this. And so Chris Baltez is going to demonstrate how we are going to do communion. So Chris, you come on up, and you're going to see these little blue lines. So make sure those are the social distancing lines, and you are not going to get any closer to people. And you're going to come on up. And what's going to happen is the distributor is going to be standing right here. And as you approach on that last blue mark, we're going to ask you to remove your mask. And as you come forward, we ask you to receive, again, ideally with your hands very flat. And the priest, the deacon, the minister will give you the sign of peace. We're not given the sign of peace. I'm sorry. Oh, I messed it up already. Not given the sign of peace. We'll give you communion. Okay? If you choose to receive communion on the tongue, we aren't going to prevent that. However, we would ask that you do that in a very safe way. Okay? And so, again, just know that if we're in any way compromised, we are going to need to stop the communion procession, and we're going to need to sanitize. Okay? And so, the body of Christ. Okay. And the next one, the body of Christ. The body of Christ. Okay. And then you'll go with a single file line down the middle aisle back to your pew, okay? So single file. If you're in the balcony, we're gonna bring communion to you. You don't even have to get out of your pew. We're gonna bring it to you, and that's the easiest and the safest way that we can do it up there. And so, again, then what will happen is after the Mass is done, we're going to ask that you just wait and pray quietly in the church, okay? Bob Evans will still be open, okay? Dino's Diner is still gonna be open when you get there, okay? But we ask that you just sit down after Mass, and we will begin releasing people from the balcony first, and then from downstairs. And so somebody will be by your pew, and will be there to lead you out, okay? Again, we know that this is different, but it actually might have a lot of great things and great effects that come from it. For instance, let me just give you a scenario. I happened to be at Dale's the other day. I know you're shocked. And I was there for that very first day that people were able to eat inside. And they had plexiglass in between every single booth. And I thought, oh, plexiglass. And then I thought, I didn't have to hear the conversation in the next booth over. It actually turned out to be a good thing. And so in all of these changes, I think we might find that maybe there's some good things that come from this. And God always brings good out of the challenging times. So we are looking forward to having you back to Mass. But please understand, if you are in any way compromised, okay, if your immune system is compromised, if you are already ill, if you're showing symptoms, if you are elderly, please know that you are dispensed from coming back to Mass, from the obligation to come back to Mass. The bishop has dispensed you from that obligation. That means that if you don't come, it's not a mortal sin, okay? Because, again, the bishops all recognize the complexity of this situation. And then eventually we'll get back to where it is that obligation that we need to attend. But right now, it's if you feel comfortable, if you feel healthy, and if you feel that this is, in your conscience, the best thing for you to do. And so we will look forward to seeing you back here at St. Joe's Church on May 30th and 31st. We're actually starting Masses May 25th, a little bit earlier there for daily Mass. So these procedures are only in place for the weekend Masses, okay? As far as coming in the outside doors. You can use the family center door when it comes to daily Mass, and we will direct you to those. But obviously the communion procedures remain the same for daily Mass and all those different things. But entering and exiting will be at your leisure when it comes to a daily Mass. So, my dear friends, there'll be questions. There'll be ways that we can learn after this first weekend, and we'll adjust accordingly. Just have a smile on that face, and let's continue to pray well, and let us be excited about being able to receive the Eucharist once again. Thank you, and God bless.